It looks like I should have deleted the app and reinstalled it. Feck. Right. As many people have said, it wouldn't be alive without challenges, shall we say. But next time we do a live, I will definitely have these sorted. Andy Turner, evening, oh. Evening, Andy. Good to have you here. LCG, good evening. Elsie, good evening. Andy Turner, let's see what let's see what technical hiccups we have tonight. It's HICC, Andy. Pound Shop Tracy. Hello. Norman Taylor might have to watch live snooker final instead. Oh, B, you're wrong, Norman. You can always watch this on catch up. Is it catch up nowadays? Let me just do that. Yeah, that's better. Simon John Lavender. Evening, Adrian. Evening, Simon John. Leeds. Evening, Adrian. Evening, Leeds. How did you get on yesterday? Obviously, I recognise that Sunderland won on Friday night, but how did you get on in your... Were you playing yesterday? I'm sure. So tonight, I'll make a little announcement in a minute or two. Oh, sorry, Leeds. Sorry, didn't realise. Southampton. Bit of a weird league, the Championship. Sides are winning that shouldn't be, and sides are losing that shouldn't be. I thought Leeds were going to be up there. Top 6 this year. Fingers crossed for you. Fingers crossed always. Matt B. Good evening, Adrian. Hope you had a nice weekend. Yeah, it's been lively. It's been lively, as always. Technical difficulties this evening, simply because my camera won't go landscape. It's staying in portrait. But the last time we had this issue and I couldn't fix it, I literally deleted the app and then brought it back. So we shall see. Aid Blackmore, evening. Hi, Adrian. Evening, Adi. I'm going to mention you tonight. I've got one of your comments. Phil Sumner, evening, everyone. Looking very fresh and cool this evening, Adrian. Thank you very much, Phil. Do appreciate it. Matty PW. Hello. Evening, Matty. And Samantha Askey. Good evening from Hythe in... Oh, I say. The Garden of England. Hythe in Kent. Still trying to find hibiscus tea. No Costco locally. Looking forward to your output. Thank you, Samantha. I think you can get some half-decent hibiscus tea via Amazon, if I remember. I mean, I went and bought loads of it from Costco, like 3 massive bags. There was like 1 million tea bags in it. And it'll last me possibly till Christmas, the rate I'm going through it at the moment. But if I find a decent one, Samantha, I'll let you know via one of these lives. Paul Flint. Hi at Matty PW. Vivian Kenyon. Good evening, you wrong'un. Only joking. Thank you. Pink Roses. Now, Nos with Da. Now it's double D. It's like the Headloo. You don't say Headloo, you say Headloo. So, Nos with... Is it that? Pink Roses? I've one eye on the rugby and one on you. Pink Roses. Flattery will get you everywhere. Matty PW. Bamberg. Quality. Paul Flint, I've got hibiscus tea via Amazon. Brilliant, Paul. I haven't got any. I must say thank you to the new Mrs. Allen who cooked dinner this evening, because she said, you know, you're going to be busy with your life, so made the most amazing pea soup. Like, just amazing. And then we had salmon and vegetables. I mean, cooked to perfection. She's a keeper, for sure. Where are we? Pound Shop Tracy. Costco, do they? Costco do deliver. They also do lamb, chicken and fish. Very good. Do you want me to do that again so everybody gets it? Costco do deliver. They also do lamb, chicken and fish. It's like the Northeast. We're in for do, we say D. So do you deliver? Yes. Might be first thing on the morning, but we'll definitely knock you up, baby. Leeds, you can't beat Yorkshire tea. You see, I don't have, like my coffee, I have no milk, straight, proper. so long as it's nuclear. And the hibiscus tea, anything in it would just take away the taste. I don't even know what make it is, but now that there's a bit of interest, I may as well do me research and get it sorted. Anita James, hello Adrian, hello Anita. Rob C 66, evening Adrian. Remember talking to you on Century 106? Did you, Rob? 106. Oh, that bit. Did you do the lunchtime phone in, or was it late night? Good to have you on board. Good to have you here. I'm going to tell you a quick story before we get into the stuff, because tonight we're going to do it slightly different. I mean, I'm here and you're watching, but we're going to do it a little interactively. Andy Turner, can you not cook? Andy? I can. Water. And that's about it. I could, honestly, I could burn water. No, I always give it a go, but the reason why, one of the million reasons why I love the new Mrs. Allen is because she is the most insane cook. She's lived abroad in many countries, so brings all of those influences, and I just did it was beautifully. Right. Rob C, 66, brilliant. So you'll know what it's all about then, apart from... Did we ever do adverts on Century 106 so you could see this this face for radio? Mick H, what kind of deliver? Deliver. There's only one kind of liver. Oh, do you know one of my favourite meals is liver with roast onion and mashed potato. Liver. Anyway, let me get to tell you a story. Firstly, the next live, because this is, we'll get on quicker, because I felt on Wednesday we were a bit slow out of the traps, so to speak, and I wanted to get stuck into it because, you know, we've got 100 folk here. Let's crack on. So the next live, Wednesday, we're doing something slightly different for you. There will be something here, fingers crossed. So 8 o'clock, there will be something. It'd be more a premiere than a live, because it's the new Mrs. Allen's birthday, and I absolutely know which side my bread's buttered on, especially when she's making it. So I'm going to take the new Mrs. Allen out for din-dins. But next Sunday, we're having a little jaunt into a beautiful part of English countryside. I do intend on being back for 8 o'clock on Sunday, but you never know, something might happen. So if I don't appear here at 8 o'clock, I've either been murdered in my sleep for saying something untoward, or stuck in traffic, or anything can happen. Anything can happen. So the next two lives, there will be something there on Wednesday, and if we get enough time, there will either be me live next Sunday, or again there will be a premiere of some kind, just so that you've got something to entertain you both Wednesday and next Sunday. So I don't want to leave you going wanting. Jip Atkinson, Sycamore Gap. Yeah, we're going to get to that. Jip Atkinson, we've got... So the way this is going to work tonight, we're going to have something a little bit interactive. First, I'm going to tell you my Michael Gambon story. Then we're going to get into what you feel is more corrupt. We ran a poll for a few days. Tory party conference this weekend. They won't be happy. Then we're gonna have a little interaction, and then we're gonna have some of your comments from some of the videos, and we'll get stuck into those because some of them are brilliant, very, very insightful. I love comments. So I don't know whether you've seen Strictly. I don't know what the result is tonight, but how can the BBC get away with literally doing a Tina Turner the musical promo at the front of one of their biggest shows on the BBC? Was Beverly Turner singing? Don't know whether she's in it, but and I haven't seen it yet. But I just thought, oh, it's a bit crass, man. BBC, what you doing? Tina Turner, the musical promo. You're better than that. You are better than that. There's 103 people. Please smash the like if you like what we're doing this evening. It would help the channel greatly, seeming with the algorithm. I'm still a bit of a novice, not quite sure what's going on with that, but the more likes this live gets, the more the algorithm goes, oh, I say, we'll let other people know about this. So 102 people, please hit the likes if you can. I'm going to tell you a Michael Gambon story. But see, I don't know Michael from the Harry Potter series of films, but I didn't. One of my favourite series was The Singing Detective, and obviously Michael stars in The Singing Detective. So I'm walking in Barnes in London when I was on LBC. I was out with the then lady that I was seeing, and we went to Barnes to look at a house. We went to Barnes to have a look at something, and we kind of did the do, and we were just walking back towards Barnes train station. And this is sort of gives you a measure of Michael Gambon, because at the time he was revered as a stage actor, and revered, I think he won multi-awards because of The Singing Detective, which was a bit old school, bit 30s-ish, but still, Gambon was an immaculate actor, just a superb actor. So we're in Barnes and we're walking towards the train station, and I saw this guy walking towards me with what I thought was his missus. And he was almost wearing like a trench coat, suit, and a bit of a trilby going on. And I thought, hang on a second, is that Michael Gambon? Sure enough, we get closer. He clocks that I've recognised him. And as I say, he wasn't as famous as he became through the Harry Potter series, but I saw him walking towards me with a female, roughly his age. And he clocked me that I'd noticed him. It's kind of that fame thing. If you're famous, you always clock people that are looking at you. And the girlfriend had no clue, literally had no clue. And I couldn't even go, here, it's Michael Gambon, here, it's Michael Gambon. A bit of a fanboy, but she had no clue. But you know what he did? As he walked towards me, knowing that I had recognized him, he slowed his walk down and said, morning. And I said, morning, Mr. Gambon. Lovely to see you. And we kind of had this conversation that started off. It was just a general, we English, we Brits, will talk about the weather or something insignificant. And I just said to him, I said, look, I'm sure you get this all the time, but I just wanted to shake your hand and say how much I enjoy your work. Love The Singing Detective, love your stage work, just love your work. And he was so made up, bless him. He was the whole interaction couldn't have been any more than, say, a couple of minutes, but he stopped. He could have just kept on walking, but he saw someone who recognized him and just stopped and gave me my moment with an extraordinarily talented actor and an extraordinarily famous man who went on to be even more famous. So that resonated with me massively. This was the mid-90s. I think it might have been 94, 95-ish, around about then. But what a gentleman. And sadly passed away this week. But I just wanted to tell you that little story. It was random, just out random somewhere in London. No, I was working for Liberty 963. That was it. When I was working for Fired. And that always stayed with me. The gentleman in him stayed with me. I just wanted to tell you that to kind of give you an insight, because most people, all the press are going, oh, lovely, yes, lovely, remarkable actor, and gushing. But this was just an actor on the street, possibly walking home. I've no idea. I don't know whether he lived in Barnes or not, but he just took the moment for me, and that stayed with me to this day, and still affects my responses to some people who just might have a moment. So let's get into the interactive bit of tonight. It's not going to take much. All you need to know is the number 1 and the number 2. Agincourt. Number 1 and number 2. That's all. I'm going to ask you some questions, about a dozen of them, because I just want to get a feel for where you are. It's the Tory Party conference this weekend. You've had Michael Gove positioning himself. You've had Suella Braverman talking about what could be the hottest topic of the moment, which is illegal immigration, economic migrants. But I just want to see where you are with things. Now, this is not for people to... you can interact with other people. Thank you. I thought Les might go. Dad dancing. I'm not much better. So this is for interaction here. And in the comments, I want you to either number 1 or number 2. But I will give you the poll that we did a couple of days ago, and that was, what is more corrupt, politicians or the mainstream media? Now, it created a whole response, like the comments went a bit mad. There were 781 votes, which is quite a bit, and it ran out that politicians are the most corrupt. 70% of you believe that politicians are the most corrupt. And then the mainstream media kind of waddled in with 30%. So on the back of that, I'm going to ask you some questions. There's some real big topics in here. There's some little ones that they're kind of shoehorning into the mainstream media that you might have a take on, or you might have a comment. But it is simply this. I want you to vote number 1 for yes, number 2 for no. What is more important to you? Tax cuts. Just put number 1 on number 2. What is more important to you? Tax cuts. Now, would you suggest that that is bribery? I mean, it's out and out. So if you think you're going to get tax cuts, where are they getting the money from to give you a tax cut? Michael Gove, Jeremy Hunt, that's not Cockney rhyming slang, by the way. Could be. But they're all saying, no, we don't have the money. We don't have the money. We can't give you tax cuts. And then other people are going, have you seen the problems we've got at the moment? Have you seen how much the interest rates are? Have you seen how much a mortgage is costing us now? So is tax cuts important to you? Oh, it's all too interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Suella, braver woman. Look, I'm not sexist. Can't call a brave man, can you? Suella. Didn't she star in Dallas in the 80s? Suella. Is illegal immigration important to you? Or economic migrancy, or whatever you want to call it. She went to the UN to negotiate. Was it Article 51 or 52, saying, oh no, we can't take any more? And there's Keir Starmer. I mean, we'll get to him. Slippery snake oil seller. We'll get to him in just a little while. But is illegal immigration important to you? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Interesting. Sorry, Retro. So we've done a little bit while people get their feet under the table. And I'm just asking some questions about what is more important to you currently. Now, I did a poll a couple of days ago asking what is more corrupt. Politicians ran out 70%, the easy winner. Mainstream media only got 30%. But I'm going to ask you some questions because I just want to see where you are with everything. It's kind of me getting to know you a little bit. But tax cuts appear not to be that important to you. I mean, you can't. It's the old adage. How can you tell when a politician's lying? Their lips move. Tax cuts? No, not interested. But it's interesting that if I ask you about illegal immigration, and Suella Braverman has been in the newspapers today, she's obviously positioning herself as the next leader of the Tory party when rich boy Sunak legs it with these non-dom misses with a sack full of booty. So let's have a look. Sean, check. 1 and 2. What, Retro? Oh, you watch Richie. Who's Richie? Interesting. So this seems to be Andy Turner. No, I just want 1 or 2, not 12, you wrong'un. I want to know whether the NHS in its present guise is important to you or not. Do you believe that it's now a private company and that we really should all start to have insurance, private insurance, and the NHS will be there for us if we need it in an emergency? So, NHS, privatise it, 1 or 2, yes or no? It's question 3 out of 12. The NHS, privatise it, yes or no? Ooh. Pink Rosa said, definitely important. So proud of Haneshli fighting for their hotel. Yep. Wow, that's really interesting. It's not that important. Have you used private healthcare? Would you use private healthcare? Have you got insurance? But the NHS, would you really privatise the NHS? Mind you, it would stop all these economic migrants coming over here, knocking their women up, and then going, oh, well, you know, we can birth our child free of charge on the NHS because technically we're in England. I'm sure that's part of it. Let's have a look. Chip Atkinson, yes. Andy Turner, yes. Honestly. Pink Roses, I can't afford private health. All right, Pink Roses. But if it's just the emergency NHS, free at the point of use, would you be happy with that? Because I know of consultants that are setting up private businesses and private hospitals and private treatments, because basically the model is going to be that if I go to hospital and I don't know, I need my innards taken out, then what they'll do is they'll charge that to my GP practice or the cash pot, wherever it may be. And the money comes out of there and pays the consultant and pays the hospital and pays everything. It's a bit like, can you remember when we privatised the phones in this country or any of the utility companies? So the middleman came in and started to separate the nationalised industry. And I've just remembered something, hang on. And the middleman started making money. But it would have been cheaper for us to just stay nationalised. But it was Margaret Thatcher, milk snatcher, who thought her and her mates would make a few bob, and they did. Except, can you remember that Labour politician, Andy Burnham? He's the mayor of Manchester now. And do you know, I think he's privatised the bus. He's nationalised the buses in Manchester. He's nationalised the transport system in Manchester. Unlike this sadist carnage in London, who is just taking your eyes out with ULEZ and all kinds of bits and pieces. So you have a Labour man in our nation's capital taking people's eyes out, and then you've got Andy Burnham in almost our second capital after Birmingham, Manchester. He's renationalised the transport system, the trams and the buses. So I wonder, is he the next Labour leader? Because I think Keir Starmer, whoosh, Freudian slip. I think Keir Starmer's put his foot in it this week. We'll talk about more of that because that's question number 12. But NHS privatise it. NHS is slow. 23 hours in ER last time. Whoa, retro. Did they feed you? Did they give you anything? Did they just let you sit there, or did they support you? To Claire Bruce, I'm disabled, so I rely on the NHS. Good point, Claire. Very good point. If the NHS goes to a sort of privatised model where you'll need insurance, then the disabled and those on medications already for established health issues, are they just abandoned? Because you wouldn't be able to get insurance if you've already got an established condition. I just think that it's all about the greenbacks. It's all about the Benjamins. And these people are literally just going to cast the weakest of our society to the wind, which is wholly unacceptable. Wholly. So question 4. Kev Iverson. Keir, no idea, won't last. You've got that right, Kevin. Matty PW. Andy B has brought in his own type of ULEZ. Okay. What is that, Matty? So what kind of ULEZ do they have in Manchester? I loved going to Manchester when I was at Rock FM in Preston and when I was at City FM in Liverpool. Did a bit for Key 103 in Manchester. So I was in and about Manchester. Love it, love it, love it. But Andy Burnham, is he kind of seen as the saviour of the Labour Party? Because the snake oil seller Keir Starmer can't make his mind up. Has no policies, no idea. In my very humble opinion. And he's just... So, question number 4. Is this a biggie? Is Brexit important to you? Is it Brexit as we know it, Jim? Not as we know it, Jim. I'm getting excited now. Brexit, is that important to you or not? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Is Brexit the hot potato? Because it kind of dovetails with illegal immigration. And we'll get to Keir Starmer on question 12, but Keir Starmer's like, oh, yeah, we'll go back into Europe. Or words to that effect. I'm telling you. How can you tell when a politician's lying? Lips move. So Brexit, how big a hot potato is that? Looks like that's the biggie. That is the biggie. A couple of people saying no, but pretty much everybody, apart from 3 or 4, are saying 2. Everybody else is 1. Retro on his bikes, Pink Roses, GB Patriot, AC, Nicky, Gary Moores. Love your guitar playing, Gary. Pound Shop Tracy. Brexit in name only. Wow. So Brexit appears quite important to you. That's very interesting. I thought that was kind of a subject that was on the back burner. Nobody cared. We were kind of out of the European Union. I did see in the papers, now you can't trust these clowns in the Pink Palace. Why? Because they're saying the European Convention for Human Rights. Remember, in the 70s, there were people getting off with the most outrageous stuff, and they were going, oh, it's the European Court of Human Rights. He took it there and he won. And now they're saying, because it's been statute law in this country since 1998, that and the European Working Time Directive. So they're now saying, can we get rid of, the backbenchers are like, can we get rid of the European Convention for Human Rights? Whoa! Can you imagine what these unnecessaries in the Pink Palace would get up to if they thought that your human rights were completely obliterated? So that's Brexit for you. They want to get rid of the European Convention on Human Rights. If we stay out of the European Union, that's what they're going to do. And the Working Time Directive, you have certain rights. You won't for much longer. They'll have you back up the chimneys, man. So Brexit, yeah, it's important to everybody. Now, here's one. If you've got a mortgage, is inflation and the mortgage rates important to you? Is it getting pretty tight for you with money and your mortgage? Because they reckon that inflation is going to be, they reckon if they can get inflation below, or is it the interest rates below 7%? It's one of the two. I read it very quickly today. Then Sunak, rich boy Sunak, is going to go to the country for a general election. Now, I told you that me and the Scarlet Pimpernel, shan't be named, is not Voldemort. Reckon May the 9th. And then somebody said today, no, May the 2nd. And I thought, hang on a second, is that after a bank holiday? Turns out it's not. So it could be first week in May-ish, either the 2nd of May or the 9th of May. But they reckon that inflation is going to come down to 2.0%, low 3-point-odd%, early 2024, which is when they might go to the country for a general election. Is inflation and mortgage rates important to you? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Yeah, you're quite right. The Umarian meme says if it's 8%, it'll still be 15% in the shop. Yeah. Shopkeepers. Wow. Now, I didn't think that was going to be important to you, but it appears it's as important to you as Brexit. A couple of twos. Hasn't really affected them, but yeah. Inflation and the mortgage rates. We're always having our eyes taken out. So tax cuts, was that bribery? And nobody was particularly interested. But inflation and mortgage rates, along with Brexit, I think they're the two very hot topics. We've got AC, the British. Hang on a second. The British what? The British invented human rights. We don't need ECHR. But it's on our statute books. The European Convention for Human Rights is on our statute books. Are they going to get rid of that and then put something else similar but not quite in law? You've got to watch them, these snake oil sellers, man. They're not going to tell you the truth. They'll just tell you what benefits them and couch it in a way that you think, oh, it's a great idea. Umarian meme, 1 important. Mick H, it should be. Jip Atkinson 1, Alan 2, Leeds 2, GB Patriot 1, and Nikki 1. Interesting. I'd say 60-30, 60 odd 40. So we're kind of halfway through. I just thought of 12 things that I wanted to see and use it as an interactive live tonight to see whether where you were with things. And don't forget, there's over 100 people watching. Please smash the like if you like what we're doing this evening. It helps the channel and I really would appreciate it. So I mentioned a general election in May 2024. Would you be happy for a general election in May 2024? It's 1 for yes, 2 for no. Would you be happy with a general election in May 2024? Is that because you want to get rid of these clowns that are in? Or do you think it's going to be a... no, I won't ask that question because it's going to confuse you. Would you be happy for a general election in May 2024 is what I'm asking you. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Okay, let's go back. Literally everybody wants a general election in May. Is it because you just want rid of the clowns, or do you want somebody you think that has integrity and decency? Keir Starmer. Are you going to vote Liberal? Are you going to vote something else, like an independent? Or are you, and this is for comments now, not necessarily the numbers, but just general comments. Do you have an idea of what you're going to do at the general election? Vote for an independent? Are you going to vote for a political party? One of the two, Labour or Tory? How comes democracy only has 2 political parties that are going to do anything? Lib Dems? No, they've had their moments. Nick Clegg, he's in the Lords now. He don't care. So would you be happy for a general election in May 2024? Andy Turner, don't give a chuff. Fair dues, Andy. Rich, the Conservatives do need a kick up the arse as they have lost their way. However, I can never vote Labour. You see, if you're a working man and you're doing quite well, you might have a couple of cars at the door, you might have a couple of holidays with the family abroad every year. Could you vote for a political party that could take that away from you? I'm just saying, it's entirely down to you. I know that there's a lot of critical thinkers. Watch this program and interact with it. Oh, Vivian, you're very, very kind. Vivian Kenyon. Apologies, Vivian. I think you would be brilliant leading us. Oh, can you imagine? Can you imagine the stuff that's happened to some well-known broadcasters this week? Can you imagine what they do to me? I'm not touching my toes for anybody. Right, that was question 6. So it seems that, there was more yeses than nos for that over and above Brexit and inflation and the mortgage rates. Question 7. Let's get to, well, how do we tackle this? Easily. The BBC. The BBC. Should we disband? Remember, it's yes, 1 for yes, 2 for no. The BBC, should we disband it and give it a Netflix model? So those that want to subscribe to it can subscribe to the BBC. Those that don't, as in, they don't want to watch the BBC. I mean, now that the new Mrs. Allen and I had a wonderful first dance at our wedding, she's definitely a keeper. Hibiscus, darling. Me and Mrs. Allen and I, should I get that right, did a first dance, and we did it had a bit of waltz in it, and tango, and jive, and what else? It had something else in Latin. It's had some Latin connotations in it. So we've had such fun that we're kind of catching up on Strictly. So here's me saying to you, oh, should we get rid of the BBC? Should we give it a Netflix model? And I wouldn't, just for one program, I wouldn't pay the Netflix model. I already have Netflix. Why do I want a second one? But BBC, disband it, yes or no? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Yeah, very good point, Simon John. Simon John says, no matter what's given to us in one hand, it's taken away with the other. Whilst I hate the BBC, I think the UK needs a national broadcaster. Do we need a state broadcaster? Yes. So hang on. PT ham salsa. Thank you. Yes, that's what we did. We did a bit of salsa. Really enjoyed that bit. Pound Shop Tracy. The BBC licence fee is a TV tax. Yeah, I can't disagree with that. Pink Roses 3. Not sure. Pink Roses. You're normally very clear thinking. There's a load of ones going in there. Jim Kennefic, Alan, the Umarian meme, Mick, BBC. Okay, I don't pay. All right, Mick. So BBC disband it and give it a Netflix model. Is that? I can't speak. I need sustenance. I hope she's put a little gin in this. So are we happy with the bet? Well, I can't ask you this because you're still answering. Bless you. Simon John Lavender 1. Matty PW, but I don't have a license fee. Okay, Matty. Rich, BBC just needs scaling back to basics. Good point, Rich. Good point. I mean, there are some people earning a shed load of money from the BBC. I mean, it's a bit, in my very humble opinion, having worked for them and with them and in them, it's a bit bloated. There was, to use some technical speak from radio, BBC breakfast shows, Gary Chabot, is it Chabot or Chabot, Gary? Labour, no way. Rich, Adrian, address the issue about the BBC having a private company that make money. They do. Is it BBC Studios or something? It's what they used to sell Doctor Who to America. They make shed loads from American TV for Doctor Who. And I'm thinking, hang on a second. So our license fee pays for a program that they sell to America for a profit. And I don't see any profit coming back. Right, next question. Question number 8 of 12. And I would love to know, is this the most important issue facing society today? Knife crime. The question is this the most important issue facing society today? Yes for 1, 2 for no. Knife crime. Question number 8, most important issue facing society today. And it's just sad that there's another young boy being knifed to death in Luton. There was some knife fight going on in Luton. One boy, 16-year-old, has lost his life. There's another one critically ill in hospital that I'm not sure whether it's his injuries are life-changing or life-threatening. But either way, this, I'd said to you on the live during the weekend and other videos that the police now class a knife incident as a firearms incident. So is this now the police can't police it because it's literally feral and an epidemic in this country, knife crime. I've seen a video today in Leeds where an 8-year-old kid has got a machete and he's waving it about and trying to charge somebody else. And I couldn't see properly. I will give it another look and I'll put it up on the channel for you to see. An 8-year-old with a machete. Now, what do we do? Is the genie out of the bottle? Let's have a look. Yeah, Retro says 1. The Jacobite, if I was a parent, I'd probably go 1. AC 2, not in rural Wales, but would like to see big sentences as a deterrent. Good point. Dave Miller, 1. Andrew, is knife crime due to a lack of good role models in the home? I don't that would be very unfair of me to say, oh, this is going to be down to single parenthood. You know, women are trying to do their best. If they've got kids, they're trying to bring them up the best way that they can. But if you think about it, my mum was 21-year-old when she had me. 21. Technically, I'm in the wedding photograph. Not there. I wasn't dressed up. I think she was 3 months pregnant when they got married, her and my dad. Dirty old bugger. My mum was as clear as the driven snow. Don't you be saying the driven slush, Your Honour. But can 21-year-olds, I mean, you're literally nowadays just coming out of university with massive debt. So could you really parent someone at 21-year-old? They just do their best from what they know, and what they know is probably from their own parents. Retro on his bikes. Pepper spray is also a firearms offence. Yeah, correct, Retro. Sanya Univer Mag. Hello, my friend. Hello, Sanya. Do we know each other? Rich, it's the CPS and the courts that's the issue. Good point, Rich. Alan, sterilise their mums and dads. Not a bad shout. So, what do you think the kids would do if they suddenly had a gun pointing down? They were looking down the barrel of a gun, and a cop was saying, "Get on the floor! Put that down!" Oh, sorry, did that blow his head off? Now, police firearms officers are trained to within an inch of their own lives. They do a lot of training consistently. So they have to go out and deal with, certainly the Met in London. They're dealing with counter-terrorism. They're dealing with all kinds of ne'er-do-wells and miscreants on the streets. But an 8-year-old boy with a machete, do we have to show them that if they don't respect society, us, me and you, then we don't have to have respect for them, and we can just put a bullet right there? 8-year-old. Are they just trying to be big men? I'm a hard man because I've got a machete. No, a hard man is those that go out to work for their family and their kids, just to put food on the table. Sometimes it's not enough. Sometimes 2 jobs not enough. But 8-year-olds, that's feral. We know, time immemorial, we know where that kid's going to end up. I'd kick it within an inch of its life. Very good point, Andy. Andy says it's a badge of honour. 8-year-old, though. Yeah, Gary, very, very good point. Kids would say, wait, get this on TikTok. That's Chinese for you. China. GB Patriot, bring back hobbies on Bobby's on the beat. I agree with you, but there's so few cops now that they just can't get out on the street to actually police society the way that you and I would want the police to police. I mean, when I was dealing with the court case of putting a very bad man away for what he did, the DC, the detective constable, was so... She was brilliant. That's all I'm going to say. She was just brilliant. And she's dealing with... Look, remember that it's very easy to point the finger of accusation to the police and say, oh, they've done this and oh, they've done that and oh... Well, yeah, look at all the different parts of society. You've got an 8-year-old kid waving a machete around in Leeds. And they have to deal with the scum-sucking pond life in society, the dregs of society, the worst of society. You know that it's going to affect them. But what are we doing? Is knife crime the most important issue facing society? Andy Turner, yeah, still a badge. AC said, yeah, arm the police. Retro on his bike, too few police, but they are, yeah, they can afford rainbow flags. Yeah, and they can go to events on a bank holiday Monday and dance with the public. I mean, are they just doing PR? Well, why are we doing PR when there's 8-year-olds in Leeds got a machete on the streets? Was anybody going to tackle him? Where were the bobbies? They weren't around. But why should they put their life on the line when nobody gives the cops any backing? Nobody does. Everybody takes a pop at them because that's the easy shot. But when an 8-year-old is running around, waving a machete around, who's the first people you call? Rich, it's not the police. You try policing with people whose reaction is to stick a phone in your face. There is that. But wasn't it in yesterday's newspapers that the Met or some police forces are now turning off their body cams if it gets a bit tasty where they are? Alan, too busy kneeling and dancing the Macarena. You're right there. Retro, too few police. Oh, yeah, I've already done that one. Sorry. Gary Darcy, that's why the police numbers are down. Why should a cop put their life on the line dealing with a terrorist, dealing with knife crime, dealing with... I mean, look at the cops that were murdered outside of Parliament when they were trying to protect the clowns in the Pink Palace. Some cops lost their lives. So why should they put their lives on the line? It's not good enough in today's society for a cop, for someone to go to work and not come back from work. Alan, that's what they're paid for, FFS. No, it's not. No, it's not. A cop putting his life on the line. And you think that's what they get paid for? No, they get paid for. The police are the evidence gatherers. They're not judge and jury, they're the evidence gatherers. And that's their job. That's what they get paid for. The whole system is set up so that the police can gather the evidence to put the file in front of the Crown Prosecution Service, who will then decide whether they should be prosecuted or not. So we'll get to the corruption. Politicians versus the mainstream media. It was 70% politicians, 30% mainstream media, 781 votes. And thank you to everyone that voted and commented on that particular poll. But do you believe that society everywhere is awash with corruption on many different levels? You've got kids thieving, I don't know, just little bits and pieces. And then you've got businessmen, politicians, non-doms. Your missus is a non-dom, almost a billionaire. Father's one of the richest men in India. And you're deciding whether to get rid of inheritance tax. Rich boy Sunak, how very dare you. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Corruption. Politicians they've evolved a corrupt system. So now they've all got their snouts in the trough and hovering up tens of millions. Is it all corrupt? Question 9. Yeah, Dave Bevan says no, but everybody else is going for a 1. The Jacobite, Wheel of Steel, Pound Shop Tracy, Rich, Philip Fraser, everybody. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Wow. So there's more ones there from knife crime, economic migrancy, NHS or Brexit. So that one right there. I'm going to ask a question, but this is not for, to vote 1 or 2. Is the whole system broken? Is it so corrupt that it's broken and we need to blow up democracy, not Guy Fawkes blow up, but blow up democracy and start again with either a new model? I mean, the mother of all parliaments. Well, can you say what she's given birth to? Maybe they chucked the wrong bit away. Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. GB Patriot, yes, broken from top to bottom. Dave Bevan, yes, totally broken. Ken Mann, yes, the Jacobite. So why do you call it the Pink Palace? Oh, hey, Jacobite. I know you're a lot smarter than that. Harvey Proctor. Question 10 of 12. Do you want change? It's now October. Nibbler Punch for the first day of the month, October 1st, 2023. Do you want change or do you want stability from your political leader? Is it you can't make an omelette without cracking a few eggs, so you want a leader that's going to be dynamic in their approach to you and society and the great unwashed and create change, but around that, get rid of the corruption? I mean, it was bad enough when they were claiming all those expenses. Thieving articles. So do you want change and a way forward, a route map to get through all of this brown stuff, or do you want stability from your political leader? 1 is change, 2 is stability. 1 is change, 2 is stability. Do you want change or stability from your political leader? Interesting. 1, change to proportional voting system. Interesting, GB Patriot. Maybe that's something that we talk about on another evening. Mick wants stability. Aurora Kida. I can't pronounce it. I do apologise. It's a 1. Rich is 2. Pound Shop Tracy 3. Both. Oh, you're wrong. Wrong. Andy Turner, Jim Kennefick, Angela Rollins, all 1s. I'd say that's kind of almost 50-50-ish. Not far away. The Umerian meme, Bojo was supposed to be that person, but he was just Bojo. 1. Change. I still think it'll be interesting to see whether it's got, and there is the next question kind of leads on to what the Umerian meme said. because I think it's going to be a death match. You already had Liz Truss. I've told you this before. Do not Google it when you've either got family around. It's NSFW. It's not suitable for work, but just Google day collar. That's all I'm saying, because Liz Truss wears one. She wears a day collar. Have a look at the necklace when she was Prime Minister, for goodness sake. Definitely can't monetize this live. Where's the Pound Shop gone? Pound Shop Tracy, why cannot we have both? What, change and stability? All right. I'm obviously not very bright tonight, so you might have to explain that to me. But it kind of looks 50-50. At the moment, question number 9 around corruption with the politicians and the mainstream media got the most. It's all broken. Looks like you're on the same page as knife crime and the BBC disbanding it, and Brexit and illegal immigration. NHS not a hot topic. Mad Matt UK, you know what that one is, don't you? Gary Shabot, yes. We want a leader. This is from Simon John Lavender. We all want a leader that's got balls to get things done, but there is not anyone with balls in any party. I think you'll find Ed Balls is in Labour Party. I'm being facetious, Simon John. So question 11 of 12. I'm going to ask you this one. Do you want Boris back? 1 for yes, 2 for no. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Do you want Boris back? 100% no so far. Oh, Rokida. I'll try that. Day collar. Ooh, saucy. Blimey. Young average Asian. Hi from Pakistan. Whoa, worldwide. I'm going to get to your comments in a second because I just want to get rid of these last 2 questions. Do you want Boris back? All of them. No. Jim Atkinson. I want Donald Trump. Make England great again. I mean, if anybody comes back with a red baseball cap, I'd buy the merch. Make America great again. I mean, the way that I'm going to pass comment about Biden and stuff, because I do believe that America's in trouble. They're 14 pints, Biden. I mean, he looks like my mate that's just come out of the pub after 14 pints, slurring his words. Doesn't know where he is. I mean, I'm not surprised at some of the press conferences that Joe Biden, President Biden, has not gone round the back and chucked up because he's had too much to drink. They're saying, look, the guy, and again, I'm being facetious, the guy has had brain surgery. So, he's getting on a bit. He's in his 80s now. He's not sharp, but blimey, Trump. Phil Sumner, I miss his speeches. Peppa Pig. Lady Blackmore, two. AC, make Britain great again. Defo need a Trump. Just so long as you're not sitting next to the missus because they don't like it. Right. Question 12. And you've been wonderful tonight. You've been really, you've just indulged me for the whole of the live tonight. Question 12. Final question. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Do you trust Keir Starmer? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Mick H, the word is Joe's going to step down this month. Yeah, I've been saying that on these lives, so you can go back and find it. Been saying it for months. Which technically would mean that Kamala Harris, VP to the Prez. I mean, Clinton, she just would be, Hillary Clinton would be apoplectic with rage if she wasn't the first woman to be president of the United States. Well, I'm sure Bill can obviously take her on holiday, some beautiful islands. One in particular looks really nice from the drone shots I've seen of it. Oh, Bill, go and take Hillary there. She's going to be upset that there's a female going to be president before her. And what does he know about Epstein's Island? Do you trust Keir Starmer? Wow, mostly twos, mostly no's. Now, the reason why I believe he's shot himself in the foot is because he's playing the game with Europe, and he's saying, well, you know, we need to have a better relationship with Europe. That'll be integration back into Europe then, Sir Keir Starmer. And he's saying, you know, that this is not going to be the number allowed in. He's saying he's going to allow 100,000 illegal immigrants into this country. So we know it'll be like 4, 5, 600,000, maybe even 1 million a year. Oh, yeah, well, we only meant to let 100,000 in. Mate, he's done. Nobody trusts you. By the numbers that are coming up here, Keir cannot even define a woman. So who was it that said earlier? Or was it the Jacobite? Why do you call it the Pink Palace? So let's get to some of your comments who, on all the videos that I do, I welcome your comments, as I have here this evening. Chip Atkinson, Keir Strummer. If he was cutting the garden, it'd be Keir Strummer. Mick H, can we all have free houses and benefits? I wish. God, I've worked all my life. Apprentice motor mechanic from 16, so literally worked my life, worked my buns off, and I'm going to get to retirement. And there are some people that have not done anything, and they're going to be as wealthy as me. How does that work? Benefit system. So this is from the live on Wednesday, live 29, and JB1921 said, Hi Adrian, hi Adrian, just watched the recording of your live stream. Very good content. Loved the quote about Sleepy Joe becoming being a Manchurian candidate. Google that. I mean, it's just Sleepy Joe Biden to a T. He's working on behalf of a foreign power in America. No wonder, from what I've seen, the Americans want to bring back Trump. Manchurian candidate Biden. Google it. Brilliant. There's something not right about him. If you watch certain footage of him, catch you later. John B. Cheers, John B. Nicholas Francis. Adrian, I've not watched the BBC or any ITV Sky News for years. At first I thought I would miss it, but no chance. And if you're looking at this debacle that's going on with GB News, then you will understand why the BBC and Sky News and Talk TV would need them gone. Because they're absolutely smashing it. And there's a huge political game. Ping Roses, I wish. I think Adrian's a millionaire having worked for the BBC. I'm probably a millionaire in Italian lira. It's worth about £21, 22p. Jim Atkinson, throw all the confiscated knives at the dinghies. Always look for the positive when recycling. Good point, Jip. Scott Marshall, Adrian. The Attorney General is relying on the common law interpretation of pending action in her statement. You missed that part off. Well, the legal training that I've had in commercial radio and the BBC, as soon as someone is, for safety's sake, my safety's sake, the minute that someone has been questioned, that's it. I don't mention them. But so if someone is questioned and or charged about certain things, then I will just privatize all the videos that mention a person that may be speaking with the police to help them with their inquiries until the process of law is finished. That will cover me, because we can debate anything we want now, within reason. I'm not suggesting we debate whether someone is innocent or guilty. We absolutely categorically can't do that. But we can debate the wider issues, whether the mainstream press, and have you look, like 2 weeks, nothing. So all this reportage came out. Dispatches was broadcast. 4 or 5 people were laying out allegations. And what has happened? Nix, nada, none. So some people are away doing what they always did on Rumble and YouTube, but not one development has happened. I wonder why that is. The Times and the Sun, they must have had it. They must have had it off pat, down pat, however he wants to phrase it. Jip Atkinson, I think GB News is in trouble. Why do you say that, Jip? I think they'd be more in trouble if someone asked the question of Nigel Farage and GB News, Who shorted the NatWest stock? Come on, Nige. Did you short the NatWest stock? And did the owner of GB News short the NatWest stock? That's moved on a pace. What I mean by shorting is that they were betting against the NatWest shares, betting for the NatWest shares going down. If the NatWest shares went down, they would make money, millions. Toxicology. The interviews with the brother promoting the Netflix documentary. This is about Jill Dando. It's #1 on Netflix. I don't know whether you've seen it yet. I wish I hadn't, because there's actually nothing new in there. Nothing. They don't name anyone. They don't. Some of my friends from the media are of the same take of all of that as me. And we know that if they can shoot Jill Dando dead and nobody is apprehended for it, then we can't speak our truth. It's absolutely categorically dark forces, and we can't speak our truth. So the Jill Dando toxicology said the interviews with the brother of Jill Dando promoting the Netflix documentary already told me not to waste my time watching it. He pretty much said there's nothing to see here. So I figured if that's the promo material, it isn't going to be worth watching. Good point, toxicology. Terry Wookfit missed the live, but don't worry, still gave it a Len Fairclough. Terry, I know the story. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that, and I'm not even going to attempt. Seaside, Adrian, do you think this Wootton Fox thing will take down GB News? Well, Lawrence Fox hasn't been sacked, has he? They've just said he expects to be sacked. He said that in a public domain, but they've just said they've suspended him. And as Dan Wootton, I mean, Teflon Dan, nothing sticks with that boy at all. I mean, some of the things that Byline Times have got on their website about Martin Branning just makes your hair curl. And now Wootton was laughing and then realised he was in the doo-doo. So backpedaled furiously overnight. Not sure. I think it's in the lap of the gods. They're not pushing hard, so as in the establishment and Ofcom. So I think they might just scrape through with numerous mea culpa. I apologise. Andy Turner, did you swear at the end of the live just before you turned the camera off? No, Andy, I don't. No. I know I've sometimes got a very potty mouth, but no, I definitely didn't swear. I might this one. And we reached an amazing milestone on Friday for the channel. We have had 1 million views. Now, that to me just sounds incredible. But the amount of time that you're watching, the amount of hours watched, 1 million views, we've got 6,000 subs, all wonderful things. And I am humbled, proper humbled by the support that a lot of people have been giving the channel when, in essence, I just set it up to see where it would go. A year later, we're like, whoa, 1 million views. So thank you to everyone. I'll just allow some people, because there's more than me involved. So I want to give credit where credit is due without naming anyone. They know who they are, but a personal thank you. What a milestone was the video. Mark Filcher, that's champion man. Kind regards from Darkest Fife. Oh, no Fife well. Beautiful, beautiful. Some of the best fish and chips in the world, but Fife is a beautiful place. Cheers, Mark. Phil Sumner, you absolute wrong'un and legend. We love you loads and we'll always support you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Cheers, Phil. Shirley Thomas, great to see the channel is going well. My fave topics are anything to do with the Belfield one. You know I've got stuff in the pipeline, don't you? You do know that. Just be patient with me, and it will come, so to speak. Barnston Camp Junction. Hello, Adrian. Very well done on reaching a great milestone in a relatively short time. Well deserved, you wrong'un. Kate Webster, excellent news. Well done, Adrian. I must admit, I'm starting to click on your channel, wishing for more. Getting greedy, but could listen to you for hours. Thank you for keeping me company. Oh, you're most welcome, Kate.
To you for hours. Thank you for keeping me company. Oh, you're most welcome.
Told you, stuff goes wrong. And Kate, there is stuff coming. I don't want to go too much into it, but we are working furiously behind the scenes to bring you entertaining stuff, not just, politics is politics, and not just the Belfield stuff, but everything. More videos per day, more stuff. We call it furniture in radio. There's more stuff, more furniture on the channel. Just stay with me and all will become apparent before Christmas. Polar Sky, congratulations, Adrian. Thank you, Polar Sky. Really appreciate your support and being here. Retro on his bikes. Retro, how are you, sir? Talking about the Yorkshire Mafia, Rich. Oh, yeah. Savile. Oh, I meant to mention the Savile thing. Have you seen the trailer for the new Savile doc drama that the BBC have made? Oh, Steve Coogan. Oi, oi, oi. Sounds like him. Looks like him. I mean, part of me's really curious because I've met Savile. I wasn't his type, so he didn't try it on. As I've said to former Radio 1 presenters who got very unnecessary. You do that again, I'll rip your arms off and shove the soggy ends up your ass. Never did it again. So if you get a chance, I'm going to watch it because I'm curious. Terry Wookfit, Martin Branning was an account used by Wooden and other journalists. They all had access to it. Oh, no wonder. It could bring the mainstream media down, that boy. Thank you, Retro. Well done. You have put the effort in. You deserve the success. You're very kind, Retro. Paul Brinicum, congratulations, Adrian. Yeah, wrong. Piewacket Trixie Bell, and a big thank you to you as well, Adrian, for all your entertaining video and live shows. The new graphics are great. Well done. Thank you, Piewacket Trixie Bell. Yeah, the new graphics are not my work. Not my work, but the new graphics are fantastic, and we've got more coming. 74 Dermo, good morning, you're wrong. Congratulations. 74 Dermo, thank you for that. Lynn Turner, congratulations from New Zealand. I found your channel quite by accident, but haven't been able to stop watching. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Lynn, from so far away. Are you 15 hours ahead? 15 hours behind. I mean, it's some crazy amount. It's probably early afternoon. Where are we? 3, 4. Yeah, it's probably early afternoon for you. But thank you for your very kind words, Lynn. I do appreciate it. Frida Hallworth, well done, Adrian. Love the graphics. Yeah, wrong. AD Blackmore, good to have you on board, AD, all these years later. AD is one of the few people, there was someone a little earlier, forgive me, I didn't quite catch the name, but was it Bob C? Was on Century 106 lunchtime phoning. AD used to call my BBC phoning. Good to have you back, AD. Well done, yeah, wrong. PS, UFOs are real. Oh, they'll bring those out when they want to make sure we're going to have digital currencies. Now, Sycamore Gap. I asked the question, a sign of the times or a mistake? Let me read some comments out because there's been developments to this story over the last few days. And I did promise Mrs. Allen that I would be done in an hour. So I will try and wrap this up in the next 10 minutes or so. Steve Bizzle says, Adrian, meanwhile, a local school here in Sheffield was put into lockdown yesterday because of an intruder with a machete. No one was injured, and the girl with the machete was arrested. This didn't make the news. Is this sort of thing everyday life now? Sad to say, yes, Steve. I mean, it's all over the country. There was, so you've got that story from Sheffield. We've got an 8-year-old with a machete on the streets of Leeds on video, running amok and trying to hit people with a machete. We've got knife crime in Luton and Croydon. It is endemic now. We've got feral youth who think they're hard and clever, and we need to get a stop to this. Now, they can't turn around and say, oh, I was abused when I was a kid. Oh, no, I had a really tough childhood. Mate, I can out misery anyone. I had a tough childhood. What did I do? I got up and I grafted. I knew what I wanted and I got out and I grafted. Not start waving a machete around, make me look hard. The hard man is the man that defends his home, his wife or partner and or children, his family, and goes to work and grafts and doesn't start waving shit about on the street, making out that he's a hard man. No. Hard man doesn't have to use a machete. Hard man is a hard man, and there's a lot of hard men around. I grew up with many of them, including my father, but that's another story. Britannia, UK. A tree which was so symbolic of the heart and soul of our country. Hopes, dreams, history, culture, seasons, life, death, and on and on and on. A truly heartbreaking act of destruction. Now, over the weekend, the reportage is pointing a finger at a former lumberjack in his 60s. 16-year-old boy was arrested, released on bail, and then a 60-year-old man was talking to the police. I don't know whether he was arrested. I don't know whether he was interviewed. But there's this lumberjack that's appeared in the press going, "Not me! No, not me!" Well, you can tell. You can tell which lumberjack it is by their cut. So the police must have this. I'm hearing other rumours that there's stuff going on in the background with National Trust and other organisations. But there was a white line painted around that tree and the cut was perfect. That's not a 16-year-old boy. That's somebody that might be in, later in life that knows how to cut a tree down. Thank you, Britannia UK. Lynn Smith, generally, we've become desensitised over the years with TV, film and mobile phones. We need to get back to a place where we appreciate nature and everything it does for us. I agree completely, Lynn. I mean, we honeymooned in the Amazon jungle in Peru. And, the Peruvians, they're not very tall. In fact, they're not tall enough even to be jockeys. But what they know about Amazon flora and fauna and how it can help, it's either medicine or poison that you're putting into your body. And these people know about this. Instead of hacking down a tree, we still have to get to the point where, why did they cut that tree down? Jackie McKinley, this made me cry so much, and if I was a parent, I would be so ashamed and I wouldn't know what to do. We don't know who the perpetrator is. That is down to the evidence gatherers. Hopefully they will find the person who did it. Shirley Thomas, so sad it's a deliberate act of vandalism, as you say. Nobody goes out for a walk with a chainsaw. It's criminal damage, I think. Yeah, you can put it down as vandalism, but I put more importance by it and call it criminal damage. Premeditated criminal damage. Thank you, Shirley. Be interesting to see who this boy is. He must have mental issues or attention seeking, or might not actually be the boy. Jen Wolfe, it's no worse than chucking Edward Colson's statue into the sea, and the clowns were given a free pass for that. I remember. Thank you, Jen Wolfe. Marcia Toms. Evening, Marcia. I cannot get my head around the mentality of the individual who did this. I've never seen the tree in person, but I feel very upset. Marcia, I took Mrs. Allen up to walk Hadrian's Wall. Where's Hadrian's Wall? Outside Hadrian's house. We went there, and we went to the tree and the sycamore gap. Sycamore, just breathtakingly beautiful. Loads of pictures. And when I first saw what had happened Thursday morning, it just literally just twists in there. Never mind twisting me melon. Wasn't just that. Thank you, Marcia. Mark Knight, make him spend a day with David Attenborough, then dig the roots up. Those roots over 300 years, if it is that old. Well, now they'll be able to tell how old the tree is accurately, but those roots must go for miles and miles and miles. Thank you, Mark. Ruth Delapina, it is so sick. What is going on in this world? What do you do with punks like that? I do ask myself, lock him up, needs to be punished. Emma Jones says, I've never visited it, but in my eyes, he should serve time in prison. Or they should serve time in prison. It'll be interesting to see who or what or why. The Shirley Ray, Adrian, so sad it's a deliberate act of vandalism. As you say, nobody goes out for a walk with a chainsaw. Yeah, I've already done that one. And we'll finish off with some further comments, and then I'm going to give you some stuff to keep an eye on. Because it's all getting lively. The mainstream media is not reporting it. It's all getting lively. And within some of the stuff that I'm going to ask you to keep an eye on, there's some truths that nobody's been telling you. Breaking news, Dan Wootton sacked. Piewacker Trixie Bell. They can't sack Dan Wootton. They haven't yet. Who knows how it's going to play out. Emma L. As Dan Wootton is freelance, then technically he hasn't been sacked as he's not an employee of the Mail Online. Interesting, Emma L. They have simply ended his contract. Clickbait, Adrian? No, he's been sacked. He's had his contract terminated. I mean, which way do you slice that? Slice that. We're going to do away with your contract. We're going to terminate your contract. And according to the European Working Time Directive, anyone contracted to work for a company has the same benefits as someone who is a staff member. That's been law 25 years in this country. So if he's had a self-employed contract, then he has the same rights as some of the staff there. Thank you, ML. just informed 7,300 complaints, probably most MSM employees. Good point, Justin. Ruth Rice, Dan Wooden should have gone a long time ago. And Maria Dodds, it seems that Dan was a bit like Teflon. First we saw that his visit to lay flowers as a tribute to the Queen was staged. Then his former lover said harmful things about him, and now this. Although I find Lawrence Fox unhinged, I hope that Dan's work with the Mail Online is the only thing he loses. Fox will create controversy wherever he goes, and Dan showed weakness, not badness. Good point. Thank you, Maria. Blumbo Tough. GB News needs to make its mind up what it is. Interesting. And final comment, Gordon Walker. Seemed to be a rout of outspoken people and a woke agenda. Adults should be able to talk without every media being the same, with standards that are outdated and based on some sort of woke middle-class standards. Good point, Gordon. Thank you for all your comments. Please keep them coming on this live, other lives, and every video that I make, because they're always very interesting. Now, I want you to keep an eye on something. Poland this week came out and said the missile, I don't know whether you're aware of this story, but the missile that hit a grain store killing 2 farmers. Were you aware of this? Didn't think you'd have seen it in the mainstream media. It was shot into Poland by you, Craig. Now, Zelensky's tried to blame it on the Russians to get NATO involved in the war. Have you seen? Because people make money out of war. They want it escalating because they make money. And have you seen today that, I'm not quite sure if the government's announced it, but we're sending our troops into what I was told was the most corrupt country in Europe. Why are they doing that? Zelensky wants to blame the Russians, get NATO involved in the war. Now, the range wasn't long enough for the Russians to have fired that missile. That was not reported anywhere in the mainstream media. Biden, as I say, I've said it every live for ages, he's going to step down. He's just not, he can't do it. He can't stand there and do a press conference. October, November. But I do believe he's going to stand down before re-election. Now, here's something to also keep your eye open. Rumour has it that Biden is blocking the oil companies from drilling in the USA. Oil is going to reach $150 a barrel. They love it, those oil companies. They love a profit, don't they? Look at when it got to £2 a litre in this country. £2. And what they do is they raise stuff until it's painful for everybody, except those in the Pink Palace making the decisions. So they raise the price and everybody's like, whoa, too painful, too painful, too painful. Then they bring it back down, but they don't bring it back down to the price it was before they inflated it. So let's say £1 a litre, and it's gone up to £2 a litre. It's come back down to $1.50 a litre. These are just arbitrary figures that I'm using as an example so you can understand it quickly. Never goes back down to £1. So the oil companies, which have the politicians in their back pockets, are making a fortune. Now, if the oil goes up to $1.50 a barrel, gold prices will go up, weakening the dollar. So the Chinese are quids in because they own America's debt. And America can only print dollars so fast because that's how they get out of it. They just print more and more dollars. So how long, because this is going to get painful for America, how long will business, American business, want Biden to stay in office? I mean, he's getting nice kickbacks through his son Hunter. There's at least 2 transactions that the FBI are aware of. They're interviewing 100 people around what they know about Hunter and Sleepy Joe, the Manchurian Candidate. 2 transfers, $250,000 each, went into Hunter Biden's bank account when he was sitting in his dad's house, and those 2 transfers came out of China, came out of Beijing. Honestly, organised crime, man. OCG. And remember Keir Starmer, Europe, he's a slippery snake. Migrants, 100,000 a year. Right on, Keir. Blimey, you got that right. And private schools, the middle classes will desert them. When we get to a general election, the middle classes are going to sit there. Do I put the box here or do I put it next to Starmer's name? And they can't do it. They won't be able to do it. He's just deselected himself. It's going to be a hung parliament. So they've walked into the Tory party's midst. So thank you for all your comments. Don't forget, we've still got 124 people watching. Please smash the like button. It means a lot, and it gets us better algorithmic notice, so more people see the lives and the videos that we do on the channel. Now, as I say, Wednesday there won't be a live. It's my darling wife's birthday, so I'm going to take her out for a lovely meal. Sunday, it's 50-50. I'm just letting you know. So there will be something here 8 o'clock on Wednesday. If I can get my act into gear and help the team out, then there will be something here 8 o'clock on Wednesday. Sunday, it's down in the lap of the gods. We're going to a beautiful part of the UK, and traffic or other unfortunate events might actually stop me from getting back in time. But I will do my best for you. I am a man of my word. I will do my best, but I just want to prepare you in case I don't get back. My name's Adrian Allen. Thank you for your likes, your subscriptions, but most of all, your indulgence. Please keep the comments coming on all the videos, including the lives and the videos that we post daily and consistently. And thank you for being here for this live tonight. We can do a few more likes. We're up at 84. Let's see if we can get to 100 for this live stream this evening. Have a good couple of days. There's some interesting videos coming in the morning. I've already recorded them. They've been away to the editor, and they've come back. Yes, Rich, thank you for your indulgence. Thanks for keeping me on script. It means a lot at my age. So have a good couple of days. Won't be here for a live on Wednesday, but there will be videos every single day until I come back for the next live, which hopefully will be next Sunday. Have a good couple of days, and I'll see you in the next video.